Hi everybody. Wanted to introduce you to another kind of altered book today. And last time I did this, we talked about this little altered book. And so there's a video of how to create this little altered book. But I wanted to give you an idea of using just old pads of paper that you have around. This happened to be just a mixed media, pretty thin pad, and it was all this about 5x7, 5x8 size. And I really love spending time preparing pages. So you can see just having fun, working with ideas and patterns, and doing what I like to call scrabbling, just spreading paint around. You can use your fingers. You can see a little better over here. The idea of just using a brush, creating this kind of veiled effect. And it works a little bit better on a flat surface. But you can get a sense of, even with your fingers, creating kind of a dreamy background. So with a dry brush, this one's pretty stiff. Let me get another one. With a dry brush, just creating this texture, you're going to get this really dreamy, watercolory, almost an effect of not there. And you can use a bunch of different colors. Here's a variety of blues and pinks. Here's some whites. I really love using a variety of whites. And then this one's white and greens. So on these scrabbled pages, I just use easy, mindless, rip the page, let it dry. So as I was doing this, I was thinking, you know, I love these ripply edges. I love this edge. So what am I going to do with this? So I started thinking, you know, what if I just glue the edges together so that I can still see them? So I started to think, okay, so what am I going to do? So here's a triple, and you can see, you know, these edges. So the back, it's just literally glued. And I also haven't done this yet, but I thought it'd be really fun to take a sewing machine and stitch on top of this with red, like a red stitch line, and leave the threads hanging. But this is literally just glued, one page on top of the other, leaving this really cool edge. So I took a whole bunch of these random pages and I glued them together. And then I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? And then what I decided to do was create this cool little book. And every page, that fold is in a different place. And you can see I kind of alternated green pages and white pages. But here's an example. Now I haven't glued it together yet, so it's still a complete accordion. And I can actually create it flat and then fold it back up. But I think it's really neat to have these different edges. And, you know, what am I going to do on this page? It's a great, cool surface. So then what I did was I thought, well, if I'm going to create it this way, I'm kind of, you know, I'm wondering whether I want to actually glue everything together so that it's a complete book and I have to create on the pages, or do I want to create it flat and open it up? But what I did do on the ends was I also experimented with actually closing these flaps. So on the very end, I folded it over and made an end, a facing piece. And on the back side, I did the same thing. And I think I'm probably going to glue these closed, but they could make amazing envelopes where you slipped things into them if you sewed shut the bottom. So there's another idea. And then I just started folding the paper and gluing and realized I had this little flap that made a great little cover for all that end, all those end pieces. So I actually created a little binding. Again, I was really just playing with folding. I'm a very haphazard creative, so I like experimenting. But, you know, you could make this completely double-sided. It wouldn't have those cool variegated edges. Or you could glue each of these shut so that it was very, very tight. Or you could take, that idea of keeping the tops open and sewing up the bottoms. So lots and lots of variety. Some of these pages have more texture. Some are plain. So each creates a landscape, and each spread now has several landscapes, some 3, some 2. They have a quality and a tone that's completely unique because each page that I painted, I did in a different way, and I literally just had fun, very mindless, preparing pages for hour or two. Sitting, I actually had the TV on, and I still have a bunch of pages left, so I could make a second book or do something completely different. This one's the wild one. I don't know what I'll do with it. But I have all these pages left over, so I still have things to play with. I mean, I really created out of one random old sketchbook, I created enough preparation to make 2 big accordion books, bound accordion books. So play with those ideas and see what happens for you. But when you prepare pages and when you prepare books, you have them ready when you need a surface. So thank you, and this is Kat Carasello, and I hope you have happy creating.